machine. He's here to introduce his favorite games. From 100 to 1, he'll explain every one. Action, trivia, fantasy, and more. Stay tuned to see what's in store, so you can play the game, play the game, play the game. Yeah.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today I would like to talk about Jason Levine. Actually, I'm going to let him do most of the talking for this video. Your top 100 games.
Yes, we've done 30 of them so far. Now we're doing numbers 70 through 61, and so far we've agreed on more than I thought.
We have.
I'm curious how...
Because you have good taste.
Yes, I'm curious how much more we'll agree as we go along.
Where do you, of the top 100 games that you have, do you think you own them all?
I know I own them all.
I know you own them all.
Yes.
Do you own, how many games do you own?
Couple thousand, 3,000 or 4,000, 5,000. I don't know. I've never counted them. I don't log them on Board
He's supposed
Geek.
to be counting them.
We're supposed to do a video one day at my house, which we will go through my collection, and then you guys will see how many games I own. But for now, let's just say a lot of thousands, and I'm not exactly sure.
That is the truth of it. All right, well, let's get into today's top 10, starting with number 70.
My number 70 is Robinson Crusoe.
Wow. How many times have you won Robinson Crusoe?
Once.
Have you played it more than once?
Yes. But I've only won it once so far.
That's one more than I won.
I've lost it a lot of times. I've won it once. Why I really like Robinson Crusoe. It's different than most co-op games in that it's a Euro-style co-op game. The fact that it's Euro makes it wonderful. I think...
No, the fact that it's thematic and interesting makes it wonderful.
Yes.
Who cares if it's Euro or not?
Well, most co-op games are kind of bland and simple, have very simple rules. But Ignacy made a game that has great rules to it. And, of course, the game itself really feels like you're on a island and you really need to, get supplies, go hunting, get food, and do everything to survive. You really feel like you're trying to survive the game. And I haven't played many co-ops that really put you in the theme like that, but Robinson Crusoe really puts you in that theme, and the mechanics are wonderful.
Okay. All right. I'm not arguing.
My number 69 is Alchemist. Another
newish game.
Newish game, exactly.
Came out about a year ago.
Yes. Alchemist.
You like deduction now. You're a big deduction fan.
I like deduction. I like worker placement. I like Euros. And I like good use of apps. Alchemist has it all. It has the best use of an app of any game I've seen so far.
Probably true.
It has worker placement, great worker placement aspect, and it has deduction, and great deduction. And you can bluff in the deduction, you could psych other people out. There are so many things you could do with that deduction. Alchemist is just incredible. It should have won more awards. I think a lot of people, or a lot of those foreign juries that voted on things, didn't pick it because it's a little too heavy for their
It is a pretty heavy
group.
game.
But it is an amazing game. It's the best use of an app. In fact, if they never made another app game again, I would say Alchemist is the pinnacle of app games. I can't imagine one that's going to be better than Alchemist using an app.
We'll see. You never know. That's a challenge.
My number 68 is Colosseum.
Really?
Yes, what do you really... I love Kramer, I love Kiesling.
Okay, now see, this is the thing. If I say this is a great game, and Sam's is a great game, and Jay says it's a great game, it's a great game. And what's the Vasel law? Great games will be reprinted, and guess what? It's being reprinted.
Yes.
Yeah, ding, 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 ding.
Yes. Colosseum is just a great game. It's a game that's hard to describe because there's so many things going on. It's you're set collecting to put on your shows, but you're also moving and trying to land pieces in your spots on the board as little pieces go around the board. You're also trading, and you're also bidding. So it's got bidding, set collecting, trading. It's got a little bit of everything, and they all work well together. I really like their designs in general, and I think this is one of their better designs, if not one of their best designs. And it's a wonderful game. I really can't wait for the reprint to come out, because then every one of you watching this will get a chance to get your hands on a copy of it.
And you should.
Yes, you should. My number 67 is Glory to Rome. Hail Caesar!
Wait, which version?
I like the original version with the cartoon artwork. I don't like the black box
This
version.
is why I hang out with this guy. He's like the only person I know of besides me who likes the cartoon. I mean, I don't know how anyone likes that black box version. It's so boring looking.
It is boring looking.
They made some really nice, like the Brazilian version looks beautiful.
I know you have that. I don't.
No, I don't have it.
Oh, I thought you had that one. Oh, no.
The Brazilian coup.
You have the Brazilian coup, which also looks beautiful.
Right.
But Glory to Rome is just a wonderful game. I guess the best way to describe it, which you guys probably know about it already, is you have cards. You're using the cards to either tech up in those cards, or using them for materials for the cards, or you're using them for powers of the cards. So you could use your cards in many different ways, whether you put them underneath the bottom of your board for materials, or on the top to tech level up, or on the side to get double powers from your thing, or on the other side to get money for them in your vault. So you have 4 different places you can place the cards, and you are collecting them. You're using a power each turn. When you use the power, based on what other things you have, you could chain off your power. You could also chain off other people, what they're doing, and you're trying to build up. Then when you eventually get cards, you're going to then take the cards and you're going to build them and use those cards. Other cards that you don't put on your tableau, you're going to build out, and you're going to take those, you're going to build them up, and when you build them, you're going to have cards you can use and have powers that you could do things that break the rules. The mechanics are wonderful. The game is wonderful. He's made many versions of it since. He made the Uchronia version, that new Montasate, whatever it's called. Montanai. But I still think the original Glory to Rome is the version everyone should have, and it is a wonderful, wonderful game.
Mm-hmm.
My number 66 is Suburbia.
Ooh, that's pretty high. Good.
Yeah, I really like Suburbia. I love how it has the SimCity kind of building aspect to it, which to me is one of the most unique things. There's not very many good city building games, and Suburbia is one of the best at it. It also has the unique through the ages mechanic of how the things come out. So as things come out and things get bought, they go down and they become less and less expensive. So you could wait for it to become cheaper. You could try to buy it when it's more expensive earlier on. And you're also building out your tiles. You're connecting. If this connects to this, it does this. Or if this connects to this, it does this. And so there's the way you build your board is very important. It is one of the best city building games out there. It's one I'd recommend. The expansions are all great.
Especially Suburbia Incorporated, really great.
Yes,
expansion.
Suburbia Incorporated adds a lot. There's so many aspects to the game. I think it's a winner. I think it's, out of his whole series, he's done 3 of them. He did Suburbia, he did Subdivision, and he did Mad King Ludwig, and I still think Suburbia is the best of that whole series.
Good call. I agree.
My number 65 is Empire Builder. I love playing with crayons. I guess since I was a kid, everyone likes drawing, and the fact that you're using crayons to draw your train lines is great. Actually, the game itself is a really good pick up and deliver game in general.
Well, I'm more curious because there's like 15 games in a series. So you're saying out of all those games, Empire Builder itself is your favorite?
No, actually, my favorite of all of them is Nippon Rails, the Japanese one, but
That's weird because that's my least favorite.
I like it because it's got a tight map.
That's why I hate it. I like the Red Planet one, the Mars one, because it's so open.
No, see, I like the tight map because it becomes a more strategic game, which is why I like Nippon Rails the best. But when I'm saying Empire Builder, I'm actually saying the whole Crayon Rails series.
Cheater, you're sticking 20 games in one slot.
Well, that's where I felt that those games belong. But
they all pretty much are the same.
Yeah, they're all the same other than different maps and different things. But I also like Euro Rails, it's a good version. Lunar Rails.
Russian Rails was good. The Russian map was good.
Actually, the other one I really like, Iron Dragon, the fantasy one.
I never played that one.
Yes, Iron Dragon, the fantasy one. Mayfair put it out years ago. And you're in a fantasy world and you're building fantasy trains and there's like dwarves and different things that come out. So they added a few special rules where like things that come out and mess with you because I forget, I haven't played in a while, but I think there's a dragon that swoops in and eats track and other things like that.
So how many players do you play these with?
Usually 4.
Okay. See, for me, 4 is too many. I like it with 2 or 3. There's too much downtime otherwise.
There's a little downtime in the game, yes, but it's just so much fun to sit there and draw your lines and you create your own board every game, and I love the aspect of creating your own track, creating your own board, and depending where you build it, it might cost you more or less, and I just went through the cheap area, so now you have to go through the mountain and yours is going to cost more, and it's such a great game. So my number 64 is Maria. I'm guessing you haven't played this one.
I still haven't played it. I keep getting told to play it all the time.
You need to. It is one of the best. In fact, it's the only 3-player. I don't even want to call it a war game. I guess it's sort of a war game, but it's not really because you're using cards to do everything.
Oh, so that means it's not a war game.
You have a deck of cards, and the deck of cards determines what your actions are. So, but it's a 3-player game, and it's really balanced for 3 players. And there's not many 3-player games that are balanced for 3 players. And this game is balanced for 3 players. It is phenomenal. There's another game also in the same line, Friedrich, which is also good, not quite as good. Maria is still the pinnacle of this kind of game. I really believe. And it's something that you need to try.
I've heard nothing but good about it.
My number 63 is Fresco.
Okay, that's not bad. Higher than I would have expected on your list because I think it's a fine game. I just didn't think you'd like it that much.
No, I really like Fresco. I like it. Actually, it's funny because Fresco is a game with a lot of expansions, but really you should just put them all in because like those first 3 expansions that come in the box, you might as well just play it. That should have just been the base game.
They should not have separated those out.
No. Fresco has a couple cool things going for it that I really like. One of them is the time aspect. So you could either wake up early
I like games
or
that
wake up late.
Early.
I always wake up late, so I like games that promote waking up late also, even if you get penalized for it. So you have the whole time aspect of when you wake up and when you get to do your turn. You also have the aspect of combining, and other games have done it since, like Scoville, and other games have done the combining thing. But Fresco was like the first game where if I have a blue cube and a red cube, I could turn them into a purple cube, or a blue and a yellow turn into a green cube. So you could mix and match and do mixing of paints, and it really gives you the feel of mixing paints. The part about painting the fresco doesn't really give you that feel, even though the picture on the board is gorgeous, but the mixing of the paints really feels like you're mixing paints, and it's a good teaching game as well because it teaches you, that, for example, yellow and red make orange. So I think it's not only...
I know what you're saying, but yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it's a good teaching game as well. So if you want to, if you're playing with a younger group, they can learn more about how colors mix together as well. So it's not just a great game in terms of what you're doing, but it's also a great game in terms of education.
All right.
My number 62 is Torres.
All right. Yeah, well, this was like made for you. The action points.
Yes.
And
Kramer and Kiesling. I'm going to repeat those names early and often, because Kramer and Kiesling came up with the limited action point system. And basically you have, let's say you have 5 actions a turn. In Torres, I forget how many you have because I haven't played in a while, but you have a certain amount of actions each turn, and you can do them. Some things cost 1 action, some things cost 2 actions, but you're limited in what you can do. And in Torres, what you have to do is you are building these buildings, and the buildings look great when you put them on the board. They all stack together, and you can have stacks of 1 or 2 or 3, and you're stacking up these different pieces, and then you're moving guys through, and they can move through a building, come out another floor, and they move all around, and you're trying to get your guys to the top of the floors to score points when they're on the tops of the floors. And Torres is just a really cool game. It's one of the great action point games. It's also got a nice 3D element to it, and it's a game that I definitely highly recommend. In fact, Kramer and Kiesling are up there as one of my favorite designers. Some other designers that we'll talk about later, you'll see I like even more, but Kramer and Kiesling, I don't think they could do much wrong.
Who did you like more? Final one today.
Yes, number 61. My number 61, this is a newer game, and it's one that I fell in love with when I first played it, because I got to play it with the designer, and that is 5 Tribes.
Really?
Yes, I love the game. Bruno taught me the game, which helps, and I mean, I would have loved it anyway, but...
Okay, now let me ask you this. When you played him, did you win? Or did he win?
He was just teaching. He didn't actually play. He was just teaching. But I won at the table in that game.
Yeah, see, I want to know if you could beat him. All right, but anyway, go ahead.
I'd love to play him. Well, maybe at Essen we'll challenge him to a game with the expansion, since I really love the expansion as well. And I know the expansion just came out or is just coming out. And the expansion's wonderful. It adds a lot to the game. It's just a wonderful game. It's Mancala, but Mancala on steroids. You pick up your pieces, you place them one by one, you come to a space, you then trigger the action of a color, and then you also trigger the action in the space. And not only you don't just go around in turn order, you actually bid for turn order each turn, you bid away your victory points, so you have to be very careful how much you bid, but sometimes there'll be this great move, and you want to bid a lot to take that great move. And it's a winner. It's a wonderful game. I ran the tournament at WBC this year. We had a lot of people show up, and for all of the people that came, I mean, it's very popular, and I think it's a wonderful game, and it's going to stand the test of time.
Alrighty, wow, 40% done with this list. New games, old games, big games, small games. What's next? Come back next week and find out from me and
me, Jason Levine.
mostly him.